Welcome to online English classes. In today's class, I am going to discuss the first poem, that is Romeo and Juliet. First, let us understand the background of the poem. There were two rival families in a city called Verona, and they are Capulet's family and Montague's family. And these Romeo and Juliet belong to these two rival families. Romeo belonged to Montague's family and Juliet belonged to Capulet's family. Once Lord Capulet from Capulet's family organized a grand supper, which means grand party. But though Romeo belonged to the rival family, he attended the party to see Rosalind. Now, who is Rosalind? Rosalind was his ex-girlfriend, his dream girl. Romeo attended the party in disguise because he was from rival family. So he attended the party in disguise to see Rosalind. But when he goes there, he sees Juliet on the dance floor. Juliet was so beautiful girl and she was dancing on the dance floor. And the moment he sees her dancing, he falls in love with her. He was fascinated by her beauty and he falls in love with her, and the moment he falls in love with her, he started expressing his feelings towards Juliet. As Juliet was dancing on the dance floor, she also sees Romeo, and she was also fascinated by Romeo's beauty, and she also started expressing her feelings towards Romeo. So this is all about the background, and now the given text is all about how Romeo and Juliet express their feelings. First, Romeo expresses his intimate feelings which he had towards Juliet. Now he describes the beauty of Juliet. He says, in the first line he says, "Oh, she teaches the torches burn bright." Normally torches are bright, they burn brighter. But he says, Juliet is the only beautiful girl who can teach even the torches to burn bright. Which means, what he means by this is, she is brighter than torches. In the next line, he says that she hangs upon the cheek of night as a rich jewel in Ethiop's ear. Here, he compares Juliet with a rich jewel. And he says the entire world is dark, is all dark, but he says that Juliet is a rich jewel. He compares Juliet with a rich jewel. In the next line, he says Juliet is the most beautiful girl in the world. Now he says she has the beauty which is too rich and it is too divine. As he goes on, he describes Juliet as a snowy dove. He says Juliet is snowy dove, and all the girls and the rest of the women are crows. Except Juliet, all the women are like crows, and she is snowy dove. In the next line, he expresses his urge to touch Juliet's hand. He wants to touch Juliet's hand to make his rude hand blessed. He wants to touch her hand after the dance. So he says, after the dance, I will watch the place of her stand and I will go there and I touch her hand and make my hand blessed. In the last line, he asks himself a question, whether his heart ever loved such a true beautiful girl in his life. and he finds an answer to this question. He says he has never seen such a true beauty and true beautiful woman till that night. This is all about how Romeo expressed his feelings towards Juliet. Now let us see how Juliet expresses her love and her feelings towards Romeo. As she was dancing on the dance floor, when Romeo attended that party in disguise, she sees him, and the moment she sees him, the moment Juliet sees Romeo, she also falls in love with him because she was fascinated by his beauty. So both fell in love with each other. Now we have seen how Romeo expressed his feelings, and we have studied how Romeo described the beauty of Juliet. And now it is Juliet's part. Juliet expresses her feelings with an invocation. She says, "Come night, come Romeo, come, you are day in night." Now she says Romeo is day in night because usually Romeo goes to see Juliet at night time. Because he belonged to the rivalry family, he was not allowed to visit or meet Juliet in daytime, during daytime. That is why he used to meet her only at night time. That is why she says, "You are day and night." And she says, Romeo lies upon the wings of night, and she says that Romeo is whiter than the new snow. Here we can see the comparison between raven's back and wings of night. So she compares raven's back to wings of night, and she compares Romeo to new snow. Now she says, no, Romeo is whiter than new snow. Is not only like new snow, Romeo is whiter than new snow. As she goes on, she requests the night to give her Romeo, and she says after her death she wants night to cut her Romeo into pieces and make him stars and put in the sky, which means Juliet wants Romeo to be permanent in this world by becoming stars. She wants to immortalize Romeo by making stars. Now she requests the night to do this because after her death Romeo should be permanent. He should be like star, and once he becomes the star, he will make the face of heaven so fine, and all the people in the world start loving the night. Usually all the people love the daytime because sun is there, light is there, anybody can walk freely, and everybody respects the sun. But she wants the people to love the night because at night Romeo will be there. So he'll be there like a star, and he'll be there like a star making the face of heaven so fine, and all the people will start loving the night because Romeo is there. And the people start hating the garish sun, they start hating the daytime. And this is how Juliet expressed her feelings towards Romeo. And now there are some possible questions which are the two rivalry families of Verona? Capulets, Montagues. Which family did Romeo belong to? Answer is Romeo belonged to Montague's family. Which family did Juliet belong to? Juliet belonged to Capulet's family. Who organized the Grand Supper? Old Lord Capulet organized the Grand Supper. How did Romeo attend the party? In disguise. Why did Romeo attend the dinner party? he attended the dinner party to see Rosalind. According to Romeo, who teaches the torches burn bright? The answer is Juliet. Who is compared to Snowy Dove in the poem? Juliet is compared to Snowy Dove in the poem. And what does Romeo want to do after the dance? Answer is he wants to touch Juliet's hand. Next question is, why does Romeo want to touch Juliet's hand? The answer is he wants to touch Juliet's hand to make his rude hand blessed. What does Juliet want Night to do after her death? The answer is to cut Romeo into stars. Who will make the face of heaven so fine? The answer is Romeo will make the face of heaven so fine.